All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to this daily forecast for tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be Thursday, June 25th, 2026. So let's start by looking at the economic calendar here. Um, so today, we didn't have much news, but now tomorrow we do have some interesting news coming out, and that's PCE, well, core PCE coming out tomorrow. So that is definitely going to be very interesting. So we can expect some good volatility tomorrow. Now today was not really like I expected it to be. We had more volatility than expected, um, and so I'll show you what happened and what we can expect for tomorrow. So right here on the dollar, we actually created this daily fair value gap. It's just that it price expanded more than I anticipated it to do. Sorry, that was hard for me to say, but um, right here we have a fair value area that's overlapping with that fair value gap. And right now it does seem with this wick at the top, it does seem like we want to that price is setting up to retrace back inside that daily fair value gap to then reach that final piece of target. So yeah, I think the dollar could potentially be interesting tomorrow. Let's take a look at the majors. So right here on GU, I don't like GU that much, if I'm being honest. Yeah, no, I don't like GU. This is removed. EU, let's see. The problem with EU here is that we don't have a clear next target and we're inside like I think that's a monthly fair value gap. No, it's a quarterly fair value gap. So we're I wouldn't be buying inside I wouldn't be selling inside a quarterly fair value gap. That's a little bit risky. So no, that's not interesting. USD Canadian, not interesting as well. It's not great. No. USD CHF don't have that daily fair value gap either. So that's not great. And then finally, USD JPY also doesn't have that daily fair value gap. Well, the only fair value gap that we have is right here. Yes, I have this trade here, but um, ugh, I don't know. It's the only one I think that would potentially be interesting is USD JPY here. Why? Because I think this retracement back inside this daily fair value gap is not that crazy. I think that can happen. And if we also take into account that the dollar should also go lower for a while and then continue higher, it fits a little bit with USD JPY. But honestly, the majors, all of them, they just don't look that good. Actually, you know what? There's New Zealand dollar, US dollar that I do like. It was not on the interest list to start the week, but I like it because we're closer to that next target, just like the dollar itself. And so today we did create that overlapping bearish fair value gap with this fair value area. That looks more like the dollar. So New Zealand dollar, US dollar would be my favorite to continue lower. Sorry. So that's it for the majors. But again, it's all reacting and then seeing what the dollar wants to do. Okay. Now moving on to the metals, gold. So again, that's where price didn't do what I anticipated it to do. Um, I was expecting more of a consolidation, and it ended up being an expansion where we reached this target, and now The next target for gold is this target right here, this swing low. And so we just kept going lower today. Like there was no relief at all. We just kept going lower from that 4 hour fair value gap that we had yesterday. And today we just went lower without really stopping. So um, right now, let's see, do we have a range? I think on the daily, no, it would be, yeah, on the 4 hour, we could say that this right here, from this swing high to this swing low, this is a range. And that zero point 0.5 level happens to be pretty close to that fair value area low right here. So honestly, right now, since we have reached this first target, I'm seeing higher prices tomorrow here on gold until we reach that zero point 0.5 level, and then I think we can start moving lower from there. Okay, but gold is not too clear right now. We could also just consolidate to create a daily fair value gap to then move on Friday. There's many scenarios here, so gold doesn't look that good. It moved way too far, way too fast. And so now there needs to be some kind of either a correction or a consolidation. Okay? So now let's look at silver because silver also expanded a lot today. Now the next target I'm seeing on silver is all the way down here, which is really far. Let's mark out the closer targets, like this one. So yeah, it's really hard to tell here on silver because we did create that daily fair value gap overlapping with the fair value area, but that's a breakaway gap. Like I do not expect price to retrace all the way up here to then move lower. So not too clear right now also on silver. We could also just start going lower as soon as the market opens from this 4 hour fair value gap. That's a possibility. Or the other possibility is just a consolidation to create a daily fair value gap for Friday. So yeah, the metals right now they just moved way too much, way too far, and I don't really know what's well, I think the most likely thing for tomorrow is just a consolidation, but that's what I was expecting yesterday, and it didn't happen today. So I don't know. I'm a little bit skeptic here about the metals. Let's see on silver. Do we have that? Yeah, we have that 4 hour range. I mean, yeah, a retracement back inside that daily fair value gap here wouldn't be too crazy considering that it's within that golden area level. So maybe a retracement back all the way up here to then move lower, that could happen. But again, I just can't reach a clear idea here. Either we just start moving lower or either we consolidate, but I just don't see higher prices tomorrow. I just don't see how that could be possible. Anyways, let's not um, spend too much time on the metals here because they're just not interesting for tomorrow. I think it has trended way too much, and now there needs to be some kind of a correction or a consolidation. So, yeah, nothing conclusive here on the metals for now. Okay, crude oil, I don't even, I just don't have anything to say here on crude oil. It's just a massive expansion to the downside. Honestly, have nothing to say here. It's really bad. It's not what I was expecting, but hey, maybe there's going to be a plot twist. Things are going to completely do a 180 and things are going to turn around. I don't know, but right now it does seem like we want to continue lower. So let's be objective here. Lower prices tomorrow, even maybe consolidation here on crude oil. So Bitcoin actually reached the target sitting at 59K. You can't see it clearly here, but we did reach the target by a few pips, and right now we're going higher from it. So we're having a rejection from that swing low, but that rejection is nothing else than a retracement back inside this 4-hour fair value gap, which I think we can still continue lower from. And then the next target on Bitcoin would be the next target on Bitcoin would be this daily swing low all the way to the left. Okay? So that's it for Bitcoin, just lower prices tomorrow from that 4-hour fair value gap. Now the indices, whoa, what happened here? Why do we get this candle here at the end? Doesn't make sense. Why do we get this huge candle at the end, but on the daily we don't have that? Um, well, that is very strange. I don't understand why. But anyways, it doesn't really matter because we did create the daily fair value gap, which we can continue lower from. So I expect a retracement back inside of it to then continue lower. And then if you look on the 4-hour, we also have this range, which is overlapping perfectly with the golden area. And so we can definitely just continue lower tomorrow. Lower prices for the stock market tomorrow for sure. And the S&P here, so on the S&P, same thing. We also have that daily fair value gap, which we can continue lower from. And let's take a look at the Fibonacci. This this swing high, this swing low, yeah, same thing here that on Nasdaq. So just staying inside that daily fair value gap to continue lower. So the indices are very clear, in my opinion, tomorrow. For tomorrow, lower prices. This is very clear to me. And finally, the crosses, Euro Canadian dollar. Okay, we still have a respect of that daily fair value gap, but nothing conclusive, nothing really strong. Um, that's waiting here. That's waiting. And then today's candle is going to the downside, so that's not great. And then Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar. Okay, so at first we started rejecting from the daily fair value gap on this candle, but then we came all the way back towards the end of the day. So that's waiting as well. All right, well, there's nothing here on the crosses for tomorrow. Honestly, there's nothing interesting for tomorrow if I'm being 100% honest. Maybe the dollar, maybe, but only if we get that beautiful setup, okay? Otherwise, it's not interesting. And if the dollar starts being interesting, then I would look at New Zealand dollar. Well, any, okay? That's the major that looks the most like the dollar itself. And we have a weekly target that we could reach before the end of the week, right? So yeah, be careful here on the dollar. Now, the metals, I really can't tell. I can't reach a clear conclusion here. It's just not clear. It's just not clear what we want to do. Even on the 4-hour, like if we look at gold, we have this 4-hour that this 4-hour fair value gap that's unmitigated. We could reject from there. We could have a retracement back into it to continue lower. But my problem with that is that we actually have, the golden area that's higher. So I don't think this fair value gap is going to hold. We'll have to react again. If it's really high probability price action, then yes, this fair value gap will hold and push price lower. But if we have lower probability price action, then I don't think this fair value gap is going to hold. And then on silver, pretty much the same thing, where we have those two 4-hour fair value gaps that we can push lower from, but I'm not sure that we're going to do so. So, anyways, I know I've spent a lot of time here on the metals, but it's just not too clear. So be careful tomorrow. Crude oil, nothing to say here. It's just lower or consolidation. Bearish or a consolidation. Then Bitcoin lower and the indices lower as well. I think the indices are probably the best looking, it's probably the best looking chart for tomorrow. I just love this setup. You know that this setup is high probability because we have that daily fair value gap overlapping with the golden area. This is just perfect setup to continue lower. It's the only chart that's very clear right now. So if you're a futures trader, if you trade the indices, um, then I think you have a nice setup for tomorrow. But if you're a Forex trader, you're probably gonna have a harder time tomorrow because things are not too clear on Forex, um, metals, energies, and crypto. It's not too clear. All right, lads. Well, thank you for listening, and trade safe tomorrow. Be careful. Things are not too clear right now, so keep that in mind. And I will see you in tomorrow's forecast. Ciao.